Hello, competitive Pokemon world. I am Diamond More Than 5, bringing you March Madness Iron Island VGC Draft League. For the month of March, we have 8 coaches split into 2 divisions who we borrowed a draft tier list from some other leagues, prominent coaches that you may be familiar with, and we brought it to Iron Island, where we drafted with a minimum of 6 Pokemon, a maximum of 12 Pokemon, but because of the shortness of the week being for the duration of the month of March, I think that most coaches would go the route of getting as high power for as few picks as possible. However, you can see that some coaches opted to extend their rosters as much as possible, hoping for a little bit of their creativity to show through and a little bit harder to prep for in their draft board. So we should see some very interesting battles. Now, for the format of this, we will be using Regulation F and best of 3 battles to determine who wins for each week. However, it is closed terrestrialization to add to the madness of the league. You may recognize a lot of these coaches as your favorite ladder heroes. A lot of them are used to the chaos of best of 1 closed terra. However, we will also be doing the best of 3. So you can't just catch them off guard when the game go next. You got to be consistent as well. So you can see we've got some exciting teams. Standard VR with the Kansas City Curum. We'll talk about the Scarlet Division first. That's a +1 with the Baton Rouge Butterfrees, Slayer Jor with the Golden Corviknights, and Snooze with the Pacific Log Meteors. Again, this division, very exciting. Tornadus starting off Standard VR's teams, and Sableye, double Prankster, however, one focusing more on speed control, one focusing more on disruption. Offensive core of Ogerpon and Walking Wake, and a bit of a stall core with Tinglu, Toxapex, Cresselia, and then rounding it out with some utility, Intimidate, Luxray, and Bullet Punch, Priority, Scizor. That's a +1, bringing us another Prankster user. So Prankster showing up 3 times in our first 2 teams. A valuable ability for Draft League. Whimsicott Annihilate can do beat up Rage Fist, roll through teams. Also, Tailwind, Fake Tears, Make It Rain with Golden Go can run through teams. And if that wasn't scary enough, now you have to deal with an Indeedee Drifblim, famous for minimize Baton Pass, and a multitude of Pokemon to potentially Baton Pass those boosts into. Stamina beat up Mudsdale can be a prominent strategy on this team. Unaware Quagsire, so you can't just burst through their team. And Girafarig as a secondary. Expanding Force, Trick Room, Eviolite Holder, starter trios. Well, your unlikely starter trio of Feraligatr, Delphox, Sceptile, and rounding it off with the Camerupt. I don't even know, man. There's a good Trick Room mode. There's a good Tailwind mode. Just a wild squad of Pokemon. That's a +1. Being one of the best to ever do it at making crazy Pokemon and crazy strategies work. Followed up by Slayer Jor with the Golden Corviknights. Very powerful physical core of Urshifu, Qianpao, Rillaboom. Priority, Sword of Rune, just burst through teams. Also a good priority blocker with Farigiraf being one of the best ways to try to shut that down. Just stole it from the opponents, from us in Draft League, to try to shut him down with. Volbeat for Prankster Tailwind. Avalugg, Vikavolt for potentially Trick Room sweepers. And then Sentret for low budget Follow Me. Pretty powerful. I like what I'm seeing from all the teams so far. Snooze drafting one of the scariest cores. We've got a Rain core with Pelipper, Archaludon, Golduck, and Dreadnought. However, we also just see the most standard balance can roll through your team. Incin, Amoonguss, P2 to set up that Ursaluna to roll through your team. And really budget Fletchling for some Prankster Tailwind, Priority Tailwind. Again, we've noted that every team so far has some sort of priority speed control ability so far. So that's the Scarlet Division. Violet Division, we've got Scooteezy with one of the grossest Fluttermane Chi-Yu Landorus just special attack Beads of Rune. So similar to Slayer Jor's physical Sword of Rune, we've got the Beads of Rune coming at you hard with these first 3 picks. Again, priority Tailwind, priority Fake Tears. Lots you can do with Illumise. Rounding it out with Tauros Aqua Breed, so some firefighting physical damage to hit a lot of those fire-type terrestrializations that you can get from Chi-Yu and Fluttermane. Poison is also a potential one that could terrestrialize into to try to mitigate the onslaught of damage, and Landorus punishes that well. Goodra having a great typing and ability, sniped from me. I was going to grab that Goodra. Slows the game down a little bit. You've got your grassy terrain budget with Thwacky, some good sleep and redirection, Vivian, some intimidate with both the Squawk ability and Scraggy, and little bit of anti-trick room with the Scraggy. Again, low budget pick. Moving on to the New York Nidokings, JPTK has the Metagross Dragonite Ogerpon Cornerstone physical core. However, that can be boosted by Howl, Gouging Fire, but also we've got your Blizzard Snowcloak Articuno. Very scary. If you think you know what's going on, you can just get stuck on the field with a Gothitelle and some Electabuzz for redirection. Myself, moving on to the Las Vegas Meowscaraders, we've got Grimmsnarl. I picked it for, that prankster versatility in pick 1. Slowing the game down a little bit. Most of my picks are just not terribly slow, but like bulky Pokemon, setup Pokemon, Sinistcha, redirection, healing, Volcarona, Quiver Dance, Okidogi, bulk up. We've got Orthworm and Latias to spam Earthquake next to, and then opting for the fastest Pokemon in the game without any outside factors. I know what you're all going to say. Regieleki. And then someone always has to do it, and then it's our bro Nino Pokebro drafting the Dondozo Tatsugiri. Glimmora Talonflame is pretty standard, I would say pretty powerful draft, but rounding it out with really scary Iron Crown and Iron Valiant Psyspam with that Indeedee male. And we've also seen Priority Tailwind, Regidrago, Iron Crown to punish the Terras that Regidrago forces. So Psyspam, Dragon Energy, aggressive, shove your face in. Also Dondozo Tatsugiri, going to make everyone prep for. And then can shut your abilities off if that's going to be too much with the low budget coughing. So those are the coaches. Those are our teams. That's our format. I hope you are excited. I am excited. We just wanted to get some content in before Champions releases, get some March Madness going. Let me know, again, who you think has the best team in the league, who you think is going to make playoffs. And hopefully we'll be able to get these coaches back for the Champions release and some draft in the future. So looking forward to that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and we will see you next time.